The Han Dynasty. A great dynasty in Chinese history. 1. Introduction. The Han Dynasty, Han, was the second imperial dynasty of China, lasting from 202 BCE to 220 CE. With two main periods, the Western Han, 202 BCE 9 CE, and the Eastern Han, 25 to 220 CE. This dynasty is considered one of China's golden ages, profoundly influencing Chinese civilization and identity. The Han Dynasty was founded by Liu Bang, a former peasant leader, who defeated Xiong Yu and ended the Qin dynasty and the Han-Chu War. The dynasty endured for over 400 years and is celebrated for its achievements in culture, economy, politics, military, science, and technology. 2. The formation and development of the Han Dynasty. The name, Han, originates from a historical event. According to Sima Qian's records of the Grand Historian, after the fall of the Qin dynasty, the warlord Xiong Yu granted Liu Bang the title of King of Han, governing a small territory known as Hanzhong, located near the Han River, strategically positioned between Chang'an, modern-day Xi'an, and Luoyang, two key power centers of ancient China. Initially, Liu Bang was just the King of Han, ruling over this small region. However, through his leadership and the support of his comrades, he defeated Xiong Yu in the Han-Chu War and became the first emperor of the Han Dynasty, taking the title Han Gaozu in 202 BCE. The choice of the name Han for the dynasty carried deep significance. It not only referred to the Hanzhong region but also symbolized Liu Bang's great victory over Xiong Yu, who had been deemed invincible. From that point on, the Han Dynasty became a symbol of power, stability, and unity, encompassing two major periods: the Western Han, 202 BCE 9 CE, and the Eastern Han, 25 to 220 CE. This name left a lasting mark on history, culture, and the identity of the Chinese people. Today, Chinese people identify themselves as Han, their language as Han Chinese, and their written script as Han characters. This demonstrates the enduring and far-reaching influence of the Han Dynasty on Chinese civilization, extending beyond its time and geographical existence. 3. The Western Han period, 202 BCE 9 CE. Formation and development. The Western Han period began when Liu Bang, after defeating Xiong Yu in the Han-Chu War, ascended the throne as emperor in 202 BCE. With the title Han Gaozu, he established the capital in Chang'an, modern-day Xi'an, Shaanxi province, a location geographically favorable for both defense and economic growth. This period marked the empire's gradual stabilization and flourishing after the chaos caused by the Qin dynasty's collapse and internal strife. To consolidate power and maintain stability, Han Gaozu established a system of governance based on a combination of centrally administered counties and semi-autonomous kingdoms ruled by imperial relatives and trusted generals. Although the Han initially faced several political challenges, Han Gaozu and his successors gradually quelled internal rebellions, strengthened central power, and stabilized the country, political system and governance. The Western Han inherited some political institutions from the Qin dynasty but implemented reforms and adjustments to suit the new circumstances. One of the most important changes was the establishment of semi-autonomous kingdoms. To reward those who fought alongside him during the wars, Liu Bang granted large territories to several generals and imperial relatives, creating semi-autonomous kingdoms. However, these kingdoms gradually grew too powerful, threatening central authority. During the reign of Emperor Jing and Emperor Wu, 141 BCE 87 BCE, the power of these semi-autonomous kingdoms was curtailed through various reforms. The central government of the Han Dynasty became more robust as the right to appoint officials and the power of the kings were gradually diminished. Especially after the Rebellion of the Seven States, 154 BCE. A significant uprising by the kingdoms against the central government. The Golden Age under Emperor Wu of Han. The reign of Emperor Wu, 141 BCE 87 BCE, is considered the zenith of the Western Han Dynasty. When the empire reached its peak in terms of territory, economy, and culture, Emperor Wu enacted a series of major reforms. Territorial expansion. Emperor Wu launched several major military campaigns to expand the Han Empire's territory. He defeated the powerful nomadic Xiongnu in the north and secured regions in the west, such as the Tarim Basin and the Silk Road. This expansion not only strengthened China's borders but also opened crucial trade routes that stimulated economic development. Foreign relations. The Western Han established a vast diplomatic network with neighboring nations, particularly through the Silk Road, where Chinese goods like silk were exchanged for Western products such as Roman glass, gemstones, and high-quality horses from Central Asia. Support for Confucianism. Emperor Wu officially endorsed Confucianism as the state ideology. This policy was developed by the philosopher Dong Zhongshu, who integrated Confucian thought with cosmology, the five elements, and yin-yang theory. This shaped Chinese education and philosophy for more than a millennium. Economy and culture. The economy flourished during the Western Han due to political stability and territorial expansion. The Han economy was primarily agricultural, with main crops like rice, millet, wheat, and other grains. Industry also thrived, with the production of iron, salt, and ceramics. State monopolies, to increase state revenues for military campaigns and strengthen power. Emperor Wu nationalized industries such as salt and iron. Although this brought great prosperity to the court, it also caused discontent among the populace and private merchants, leading to the abolition of these policies in the Eastern Han period. Culturally, the Western Han witnessed the rise and flourishing of Confucianism. Alongside other fields like history and literature, the historian Sima Qian compiled the records of the Grand Historian, laying the foundation for systematic historical records in China and becoming a model for future historians. Decline and fall. After the Golden Age under Emperor Wu, the Western Han began to decline due to several factors. The immense military expenses from expansion campaigns and the mismanagement of some subsequent emperors drained the empire's treasury. Additionally, corruption and power struggles among eunuchs and nobles caused internal conflict. The decline culminated in 9 CE when Wang Mang, a regent of the Han Dynasty, usurped the throne and established the short-lived Qin Dynasty, 9–23 CE. His economic and social reforms largely failed, leading to chaos and uprisings, such as the Red Eyebrows Rebellion, one of the largest peasant uprisings in Chinese history, marking the end of the Western Han period. The formation of the Eastern Han, 25–220 CE, the empire's revival after turmoil. The Eastern Han period began after the fall of the Qin dynasty, established by Wang Mang. Following Wang Mang's death in 23 CE, Lu Shu, a descendant of the Han royal family, gathered military forces and defeated various rebel factions, unifying the country. He became emperor in 25 CE, taking the title Emperor Guangwu of Han, and moved the capital from Chang'an to Luoyang, modern-day Luoyang, Henan province, marking the beginning of the Eastern Han. Emperor Guangwu rebuilt the empire from the chaos and established a stable foundation, ushering in a period of recovery. He implemented economic reforms, reduced tax burdens, and encouraged agricultural production. The early Eastern Han era was characterized by political and economic recovery after the Qin dynasty's crisis. Politics and governance. During the Eastern Han period, the governance system largely retained the structure established by the Western Han emperors, though some significant changes were made to suit the new context. Centralization of power. Emperor Guangwu and his successors implemented reforms to reduce the power of aristocrats and local officials while strengthening central authority by curbing the autonomy of semi-autonomous kingdoms. The government prevented the decentralization of power, ensuring the stability of the imperial court. The rise of eunuchs. One of the major political challenges during the Eastern Han period was the growing influence of eunuchs in the imperial court. Eunuchs, who served closely with the emperor, gradually gained significant power and even controlled governmental affairs. Their interference caused internal conflicts, weakening central authority. Relations with foreign nations. The Eastern Han maintained complex relationships with neighboring peoples, particularly nomadic tribes to the north, such as the Xiongnu, Shanbei, and tribes in the western regions, modern Xinjiang. Military campaigns during this time focused on stabilizing the empire's borders and expanding China's cultural influence. The prosperous era under Emperor He of Han, 88–105 CE. Under Emperor Yi's reign, 88–105 CE. The Eastern Han experienced a brief period of prosperity. Military campaigns primarily focused on securing borders, especially against the Xiongnu. Key victories in these campaigns helped the Han consolidate power and maintain territorial stability. Expansion of the Silk Road. The Silk Road continued to thrive under the Eastern Han, becoming an essential link between China and the Western regions. Goods such as silk, porcelain, and tea were traded for valuable items from Persia, Rome, and India, generating immense wealth for the Han Empire. Confucianism and religion. As in the Western Han period, Confucianism remained the dominant ideology in the Eastern Han court. The imperial examination system and Confucian education continued to be the primary means of selecting officials for the government. Meanwhile, this period saw the introduction and gradual spread of Buddhism in China. Beginning around the 1st century CE, while not yet widespread, Buddhism would become a significant part of Chinese culture and religion in later centuries. Decline and collapse. Despite moments of prosperity, the Eastern Han began to experience significant decline by the late 2nd century due to internal and external factors. Corruption and power struggles. Corruption and power struggles were rampant during this period, particularly between the eunuchs and Confucian scholars in the court. As eunuchs gained control over key positions, dissatisfaction among officials and aristocrats led to significant unrest. Peasant revolts. The weakened central government and widespread corruption fueled numerous peasant uprisings. The most notable of these was the Yellow Turban Rebellion in 184 CE, led by religious leaders, which shook the foundation of the Han government and signaled the approaching collapse of the dynasty. The rise of warlords. With the central government losing control, regional warlords and military leaders began to seize power. One such figure was Dong Zhou, a warlord who briefly controlled the imperial court but caused further instability. Failed reforms. Several attempts to reform the government and restore order were made, but they were largely unsuccessful. Infighting between various factions, along with the rise of local warlords and regional military leaders, made it impossible for the Han to re-establish central authority. 4. The end of the Eastern Han and transition to the Three Kingdoms. In 220 CE, Cao Pi, the son of Cao Cao, officially deposed the last Han emperor, Emperor Xian, and established the Wei dynasty, marking the end of the Han dynasty. This also marked the beginning of the Three Kingdoms period, 220–280 CE. One of the most famous and romanticized periods in Chinese history. With power struggles between the three kingdoms, Wei, Shu, and Wu, the Eastern Han era played a crucial role in Chinese history. Not only as a period of recovery after turmoil but also as a transitional era leading to the division of power and the military conflicts between warlords, setting the stage for the famous Three Kingdoms period. 5. Politics and administration. The Han dynasty established a centralized monarchy system, where the emperor was the supreme ruler. Below the emperor was a hierarchy of officials, nobles, and scholars. Central government officials were divided into three main ranks: chancellor, imperial censor, and grand commandant. Local administration was divided into prefectures and counties, governed by prefects and magistrates responsible for maintaining order and governance in their territories. 6. Prosperous economy. The Han dynasty inherited and expanded the monetary economy from the Zhou and Qin dynasties. Coins minted by the state became the standard medium of exchange, especially after Emperor Wu of Han introduced the Wuju coin. The Han government also nationalized key industries such as salt and iron to finance military expansion and fund wars. Despite its economic growth, the Han faced challenges such as landless peasants and the rise of wealthy merchants, leading to the implementation of reforms to protect small landowners. 7. Military and territorial expansion. The Han army was a formidable force, consisting of infantry, cavalry, and navy units. During Emperor Wu's reign, the Han expanded its territory westward, securing the Tarim Basin and establishing control over the Silk Road, creating an extensive trade network linking China with Central Asia and the Mediterranean. The Han also expanded southward, conquering Nanyue, 111 BCE, and establishing Lilang Commandery on the Korean peninsula. 8. Science and technology. The Han Dynasty witnessed many significant advancements in science and technology, which greatly contributed to human development. Han scientists and engineers invented the process of papermaking, the ship rudder, and the seismograph. They also developed agricultural tools such as the seed drill, the three-bladed plow, and water wheels. In the field of astronomy, the Han developed the armillary sphere and meticulously recorded astronomical phenomena such as comets and solar eclipses. 9. Culture and religion. The Han Dynasty fostered a rich and diverse culture that combined Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism. Confucianism was officially endorsed by the government and became the central philosophy of governance and education. Taoism also flourished, with various sects such as the Way of the Five Pecks of Rice emerging during this time. Buddhism began to make its way into China during the 2nd century through the Silk Road, gradually becoming a key part of Chinese culture and belief systems. 10. The fall of the Han Dynasty. Following the death of Emperor Ling of Han, intense power struggles between eunuchs and the emperor's relatives led to significant weakening of the court. The Yellow Turban Rebellion and other uprisings destabilized the empire. In 220 CE, Cao Pi forced Emperor Xian of Han to abdicate, marking the end of the Han Dynasty and the beginning of the Three Kingdoms period. With the three main powers, Cao Wei, Eastern Wu, and Shu Han. 11. The legacy of the Han Dynasty. Although the Han Dynasty eventually fell, its legacy continued to shape Chinese culture and society for centuries. Today, Chinese people still refer to themselves as Han Chinese. Their language is known as Hanyu, and their script as Han characters, Hanzi. The achievements in literature, art, science, and governance during the Han era helped define the essence of Chinese civilization and its identity. We've just explored the Eastern Han period, an era filled with political reforms, uprisings, and the gradual decline of one of China's greatest dynasties. The Eastern Han is not only a tale of revival but also a historical lesson in how over-centralized power and unchecked ambition can lead to downfall. History always leaves behind valuable lessons, and the Eastern Han period paved the way for the famous Three Kingdoms period, 220–280 CE. This era is renowned for the division of power between the three states of Wei, Shu, and Wu, and immortalized in the classic novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms. If you're fascinated by captivating stories of Chinese history and want to explore more world-changing events, don't forget to subscribe to Captivating History. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss out on any exciting videos. In the next episode, we'll delve into the Three Kingdoms period, where strategy, power, and loyalty shaped legendary battles. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.